This tutorial assumes that you have already set up a landscape material and you're sort of familiar with how materials work. I also want to give a quick shout out to Yasmin, who I will get up on screen, who's created this absolutely mega art piece, and with an interview that she did that just mentioned the use of Runtime Virtual Textures, sort of pointed me in the right direction towards researching down this path a little bit more. So, let's get stuck in. Right, roll the tape, roll the tape. Right, here's the sitch. So you've spent an undisclosed amount of time preparing a test scene. Maybe it was 10 minutes, maybe it was an hour, I don't know. And it's looking good. It's looking pretty nice. Pretty, you know, how you want it to be. Pretty. Grass looks nice, trees look nice, everything looks nice. And then you go to add a shoreline, or maybe a dirt path, and you start painting. Let's let that load. Start painting. Cool. But wait, hold up. What the frick is going on here? So, you know, you just got grass sticking out of the sand. Now this honestly looks kinda ugly, and you get the same thing with cliffs. It can just look absolutely garbage. So, I'm gonna show you how to fix that very quickly and concisely. I don't like to ramble too much. All right, now, because I'm using a very widescreen monitor, you can't actually see my top left corner, but we're gonna go into edit, then we're gonna go to project settings. Pretty simple. Now we're gonna jump onto the screen. So once you're in your project settings, we're gonna go details, we're gonna search virtual texture, and we're gonna tick enable virtual texture support. So tick that, I've already ticked it, I don't wanna restart my editor. So that's step one. All right, next step is gonna be, we are going to create a material texture, runtime virtual texture. I'm just gonna call this one tutorial thingo. Tutorial thingo. Right, we're gonna go into that. So basically, we just want to do the base color. These will take up a lot more resources, and we are going to compress it because, you know, we like performance. These settings, so these are basically the resolution and the size of each virtual texture tile. You can dick around with them at the end. They're sort of, you can sort of see how low you can get it before the effect that you want starts to disappear. So for now, we're just gonna leave that. And we are going to search in our actors tabo thingo. We're gonna get runtime virtual texture, and we're just gonna plop that in the world. Now down here, source actor, we're gonna hit our landscape. We're gonna hit copy rotation and copy bounds. So that's just gonna make it as big as our landscape is. In our runtime virtual texture actor, we're gonna click virtual texture, and we're gonna hit the one that we just created. So mine's called tutorial thingo. The other thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our landscape material. The main thing is this node here. So runtime virtual texture output. Depending on how your landscape material is set up, you can just get material attributes and plug into that and, you know, get base color from that, and it basically passes it through. So yeah, if you don't have yours set up like mine, this will be a very handy node, and then you can just plug that base color up into there. But for this example, you know, I've thought ahead. I've done that. So this is all you need to do. This is my master material for my my ground foliage. Yours might look something like this. So we've got a base color. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna yeet that base color right out of here, and we're going to hit virtual texture sample. Runtime virtual texture sample. Bam. we're gonna get our world position. Chuck that in there. Smack the base color out. I'm gonna smack it into my subsurface as well. And before we hit save, we are gonna click on this node. We're gonna go to our virtual texture and we're gonna hit our tutorial thingo, whatever you called it. As you can see, now it's all working really good. And we go to our landscape, ready? And it looks like we fucking destroyed it, but hold up. Let's click on our landscape and search in its details, virtual texture, render to virtual textures. And we're gonna hit our tutorial thingo virtual texture that we created, and look at that. Look at that. Look at this. Look at what we've done. It's fucking marvelous. So that's really it, honestly. We can go into our texture, so we can downscale the size and stuff. You can see it's, you know, jittering around a little bit. Yeah, you obviously want to save as much performance as possible. With this, because we're working with smooth gradients, I can usually leave mine around 64. Right, so that's kind of cool, right? But we can take it one step further. So naturally, what you'd think if grass was fading to dirt is you'd expect the grass to get smaller and smaller the further away from the, you know, the grass patch it gets. So at the moment, what we're looking at is, you know, this grass is still the same height as the other grass, and, you know, it kind of looks a bit dodgy. It can look really bad if we're doing really soft, like soft brushing. So if I make the radius big and the fall off, and, you know, some of the grass can look ugly towards, say you've got, you know, rocks or cliffs or something, and you can see this grass just looks unnaturally grey and, you know, absolutely terrible. So what we can do is go back into our ground thingo. What we're going to do is use world position offset. Really what it does is just offsets vertexes in the world position, as it says. So we're going to grab our virtual runtime texture. So we're going to mask the R and the G, because grass is usually, you know, red and green. It's either green, or red and green is yellow, or red is like an autumn color. Grass is very rarely blue. Now, I'm sure there is a better way to do this. I did try and look into doing it with like the 4th channel, the alpha channel, but making a runtime virtual texture have an alpha channel is hella expensive, apparently. So this is just a sort of a dirty hack, I guess. If you know, your grass is only green or yellow or red. So we're gonna mask our texture and we're gonna desaturate that. So, you know, we've just got values between 1 and 0 now. And we're gonna remap value range. So what this is gonna do is sort of add contrast. If I just plug this straight in here, you can see that wherever the grass is green or yellow, it's white, completely white, because, you know, we've bumped the contrast up heaps. But as it gets towards gray or even, you know, brown, if we were to use this as an alpha channel for, say, I don't know, maybe we're gonna clamp it. Obviously, I always clamp alphas. Say we're gonna use that to lerp between -30, meaning we're pushing all the vertices down into the ground where we can't see them, and lerp between -30 and 0, 0 being it's completely unaffected. Then we're gonna make a float 3, because, you know, we wanna say, okay, we wanna do this in the Z value, and the X and Y will just be 0. And then if you've already got like foliage wind set up, you can just add that to this thing that we've made, and I'm gonna chuck it up here into the world position offset, and we'll keep the base color as the black and white so you can see how it's working in real time. I might actually just make it a bit more apparent. Let's go like -50. Yeah, there we go. That's more of the effect that we want. Yeah, the grass sinks in. If you look under, you can see, yeah, the black grass is sinking down further than the white grass. And so we're nearly there. All we need to do now is just plug in our color again. Base color. And there you go. Look at that. We've got beautiful, luscious, fluffy looking grass that, you know, all the ugly ones have sunk into the ground and are out of our sight. And, you know, there's gradual fall off. You could make the fall off even sort of smoother by just sort of doodling around with these contrast values. These should always be 0 and 1, but these, you know, just toy with them. Maybe start with this as a sweet spot and, you know, plug this into the base color so you can see, you know, the black and white 1 and 0 values, and just keep mucking around with this till the gradient looks how you want it to look, and then plug your color back in. And now I can go into landscape, and maybe I've got some autumn grass, you know? Maybe I've just got some colored grass that I want to put in, and it can smoothly transition between them rather than having, you know, like a tuft of green grass and then a tuft of yellow grass and then another tuft of green grass fading, you know, sort of sparsely between each other. We can just start to paint color into our grass foliage and, you know, start to get really nice, luscious looking landscape. So I can have dirt, I can have cliff, I can have sand. Sand always looks nice with the little fade out. Yeah, that's about it, honestly. We're kind of done. I reckon we'll leave it at that. If I missed anything, if I've skipped over any instructions or you're stuck trying to replicate this kind of effect, just leave a comment below and I'll definitely reply to it and try and help as best as I can. But for now, I say goodbye. Goodbye. You gonna help me make video? Say hello. Say hello. 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 Aren't you a good girl?